What's up? Tyler from Plugged On. I'm here with an album review. This time I'm going to talk about As I Lay Dying's new album, Shaped by Fire. This came out September 20th, 2019, and this follow up their first album in 7 years. Follow up to 2012's Awakened, came out on Nuclear Blast Records. If you've followed metal for a number of years, you know the story of As I Lay Dying. Tim Lambesis trying to hire him and kill his wife, and got caught and went to prison for a number of years, and then they reunited last year, put out some singles, and here they are with a full album. And I really like As I Lay Dying. I think when I started to get more into metalcore and the heavier side of metal, you could say, because I got into metalcore before I got into death metal, because metalcore I think is a great gateway in a way. At least for me, I got used to harsher vocals and all that. That's the thing that I was always like, this is thrash metal, that's all I'm gonna listen to. And As I Lay Dying was one of those bands for me that really got me into metal, and it opened me up to other genres, and I've always enjoyed them. I like just about every album that they have, a lot of the songs that they have. And I liked a lot of the singles they released. Reviewed My Own Grave when that dropped. Redefined was really great. And then, as the album started to, they announced and everything, they released the title track and then Blinded. But so, I will say, with this album, I am personally happy, musically speaking, that As I Lay Dying is making music again. Whether however you feel about the situation, that's cool. For me, I just knew As I Lay Dying music is great. And I think what they've produced here is a fantastic album. And honestly, maybe one of their overall best albums. And I just think from start to finish, there's a lot of fantastic moments on here, a lot of really great, to me, what will become classic As I Lay Dying songs. And I think just hearing these guys making music again, kind of makes me go like, wow, how much I actually enjoyed it, their records. And I think a big piece of that, honestly, is Phil and Nick Hippa's guitar work. I've always thought in the metalcore world, and just metal period, that those guys are just fucking wizards. They have incredible technical talent. They really know how to write very catchy metalcore riffs, very crushing sections with breakdowns, and then unbelievably great guitar melodies during a chorus or opening the song or something like that. And then Nick Hippa on lead guitar doing the solos, he just writes some of the best metalcore solos out there. He always has, and on this album, hearing those two back making more crushing metal, more fast stuff instead of a little bit more toned down, more melodic work that they did in Woven War, I think it's just great, because you listen, the album I think starts off just great when, after the intro of Burn to Emerge, you have Blinded, and what a great old school metalcore riff to open that song up. And I think that whole song's great. It has such a great chorus. Josh, I think, sounds better than ever, and he got way better as I Lay Dying went along, and then I think he even got better during his time in Woven War. So as a clean singer, I think he just sounds amazing on this album. And Blinded's a really good one. Blinded's just got the thrashiness, it's got the great metalcore riffs, it's got the crushing sections, it's awesome. And it gets Shaped by Fire, and that brings, in another element of just, they Nick and Josh, or Phil, they write just kind of some bouncy riffs sometimes, and I love the opening riff to Shaped by Fire. It's really good. Undertow is probably one of the heavier songs on here. Undertow, the Gatekeeper, is a really heavy one. Redefined is a little bit more on the more crushing side of As I Lay Dying, because there's some really great breakdowns in these songs. And As I Lay Dying always done the whole, we're going to play a riff and then the rhythm's going to be a breakdown underneath of it. You know, that's a very classic metalcore sort of thing. They do that a lot on here. I think it works most of the time. You know, some of those things stand out a lot more than others, I'll say. But yeah, I mean, I just think there's fantastic choruses on this album too. "Shaped by Fire" is probably one of the more catchier ones that'll get stuck in your head all day. "Undertow" is really good. "Torn Between" is another song that really highlights Josh's clean singing abilities. When that starts up, I really like that chorus as well. "Take What's Left" is another one that's great. "Redefined" is awesome. "Redefined" showcases how great this album's production is, I think, too. There's a lot of really great just little tricks on the production side. "As I Lay Dying's always had great production. I think this one's good, and that brings me to my last big thing that I want to talk about, and that's obviously Tim Lambesis. I think Tim Lambesis does sound good on here. He's a lot more on the lower end, I think, with his vocals, and like I said, I do think he sounds good for, you know, not really doing this, you know, because of his situation for a number of years. I'll say the only thing to me is that there are times, and it's not all the time, so don't take this the wrong way, there are times on this album where I just feel with the production, or maybe it's just the pitch he's going for with his vocals, where he's a little hard to understand what he's actually saying, and it just sounds like, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's my ears too, could just be me, but I'd say that is like really my only little nitpicky thing about this album. Otherwise, I think it's a great metalcore album. It's exactly what As I Lay Dying need to do. They needed to hit the road, get out there and tour, and then just deliver a great album. No tricks. Just this is As I Lay Dying. We are here. We have riffs. We have solos. We have, you know, big catchy choruses. We have in your face sort of metalcore, and I think they've delivered that. And otherwise, I do think Tim sounds good. You know, I've always enjoyed his vocal range. I've always enjoyed his clarity as well in his lyrics, which the lyrics on this album I feel are definitely very personal to him. But, you know, I've always enjoyed him, and I've always really enjoyed his higher end screams as well, and I wish there was a little bit more on that, but hey, whatever, man. I just think this is a solid As I Lay Dying album. I can see people out there going, it's As I Lay Dying, it's whatever, you know, it's another one, and I get that. I do. But I think when you're just talking about the music here, As I Lay Dying, I think it's a solid album. Let me know what you think of it. 9 out of 10 for me. I really like this album. Yeah. Let me know what you think of Shaped by Fire by As I Lay Dying. Thanks for watching. See ya.